Game show. The first round of the WCHA playoffs on Mix 103.7 and BeaverRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome to Sport and Spinal Weekly, brought to you by Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. Listen each week for health and wellness programs and ideas, chiropractic information, and helpful tips for a healthier lifestyle. Plus, weekly guests from around the area. It's time for Sport and Spinal Weekly with Dr. Lyle Erickson and the team at Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab.
All right, Sport and Spinal Weekly. Here we are, second weekend of March, and in the studio with me, Dr. Erickson.
Hi, Mark. Good to be here again this week.
As we get closer to spring, our topic today is going to be on carpal tunnel.
Yeah, carpal tunnel syndrome. It's a disorder where a lot of people experience it after using their hands repetitively, and a lot of people get it from doing daily work like computer work, different things like that. Also, spring is coming, so people are going to be doing yard work, raking, different things of that nature. So anything where you're gripping objects with the hands and doing repetitive work, carpal tunnel syndrome can appear.
Well, and I suppose a lot of us know somebody that has carpal tunnel.
I would dare say that we all know somebody who's either had it or experienced or maybe had surgery, in the past with it. Just because of this day and age, there's a lot of people using computers and that type of thing. It's pretty prevalent.
And our guest today?
The guest today is wide open. We're hoping to have either Paul or Rita Shaw from Living Touch Massage.
Oh, cool.
And to talk about some massage things. So that's we're hoping to get them in to join us as well.
Nice. So we'll have that and more coming up for this week's edition of Sport and Spinal Weekly.
You're listening to Sport and Spinal Weekly on 92.1 The River.
Have you ever been told you just have to live with the pain? Far too many people today are living needlessly with pain and taking drugs to hide their pain. Every day, many people just like you are learning chiropractic care can be an effective alternative to drugs and surgery while restoring pain-free living.
For quality chiropractic care, call Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab of Bemidji at 444-2117. Whether caused by an auto accident, work injury, or other circumstance, receive expert treatment from Sport and Spinal Rehab. Sport and Spinal Rehab will accept most insurance, so give them a call. That number again is 444-2117, or find them on the web at www.sportandspinalrehab.com.
Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. Renew your whole body, your whole family, your whole life.
For more information, visit Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab online at www.sportandspinalrehab.com. This is Sport and Spinal Weekly on 92.1 The River. Your recovery from injury is so important to you and your family. If you or someone you love is in need of physical or occupational therapy, request Choice Therapy of Bemidji. You do have the right to choose where you receive therapy services. Choice Therapy will work closely with your physician, giving every patient the highest quality care possible. Choice Therapy also offers free 15-minute injury consultations to see if therapy will help you return to top form. Your life, your health, your choice. Choice Therapy of Bemidji.
Hi, I'm Erica at Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. I assist the doctors with patient care, exams, therapy, and x-rays. Call us to find out how we can help get you out of pain today.
All right, welcome back. Sport and Spinal Weekly. Remember, you can get more online.
We can find more online at www.sportandspinalrehab.com, all spelled out.
And also you can email us at sportandspinalweekly@paulbunyan.net.
Correct.
Now, we're talking about carpal tunnel. And it was funny because I have just here today, this morning, I had a weird sensation in my left hand by my thumb. And then you did 2 quick tests.
Yeah.
And you said we probably have carpal tunnel.
Yeah, like you said, on the intro there, so many people have it, or at least the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. And just let me explain briefly kind of what carpal tunnel syndrome is. Carpal tunnel syndrome is basically irritation or inflammation in and around a nerve that runs through your wrist called the median nerve. And the median nerve is formed from a group of nerves in the neck.
Okay.
And that nerve runs down, starts in the neck, runs through the shoulder area, runs through the elbow region, and then it runs through the wrist, and it innervates the fingers.
Wow.
in your hand.
That's a long.
That's a long journey.
That is.
Right? Well, carpal tunnel syndrome, true carpal tunnel syndrome, is when that nerve basically gets pinched or irritated or inflamed in the wrist itself. The wrist, in your wrist, you have 8, what they're named carpal bones.
Oh, okay.
In the wrist. And those bones, along with sheath, make up the carpal tunnel. And it's just what it sounds like. It's a tunnel. It's a passageway for that nerve. Okay? If we use our hands in repetitive movements, what can happen is if you use it too much, the hand in repetitive movements, or for folks who are using tools that maybe vibrate, anything that will irritate that wrist too much will cause inflammation in those tissues that go through that tunnel, making, in essence, that tunnel smaller than it should be. When that happens, the nerves get irritated and inflamed, and that causes the symptoms that occur in the hands and the fingers, some of which are what you explained to me this morning.
Right.
Maybe the pain in the thumb area, maybe some tingling and numbness. Off the air here, we did a quick test where I tapped on that. It's called Tennell's test. I tapped on that, and you had a zinger go into the fingers, right? Just like if you were to hit your funny bone.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And so those are all indications that you may have some carpal tunnel syndrome. The next question for me that I was going to ask you is, do you have any weakness in your hand? And you said, well, gee, yeah, it feels kind of weird. So I did another quick test on you, and where we compared some of the strength in your hand, and sure enough, you had a little weakness there. If nerves get irritated and pinched, then you get weakness to whatever muscles that they innervate. So in essence, that's what carpal tunnel syndrome is.
And I know people, like in the old days, they just did surgery, right? They would just try and do that right away. Is that what the process was?
It is. It was. I mean, and like we've said all along, our theme, I think, of one of the themes of the show is surgery can be an option. It has to be an option. It should be a last resort, I think, in many cases. Carpal tunnel syndrome can be treated conservatively. Sometimes we'll use a brace, folks, so they can't avoid that repetitive motion.
Okay.
The other thing is, and we've talked about this as well, is to find out if it is truly carpal tunnel syndrome. As I mentioned, the nerve starts in your neck, it goes through the shoulder, goes through the elbow and the wrist. So what if that nerve was irritated in your elbow region? It could still cause some tingling into your fingers.
Okay.
So if you were to do surgery on your wrist and the irritation on the nerve was in your elbow region, well, that wouldn't do much good, would it?
Right, and I heard that when you do have surgery in that area, it's a longer process to heal. Is that correct or not?
Well, there's different types of surgeries, and again, I'm not a medical doctor, but the surgeries have gotten more refined now. They use they use a laser in some circumstances, and so it's not as let's say drastic as it used to be in some cases, but the point is that if you can prevent it without surgery, why not do that? And so what we do is we try to find out, okay, what's the cause of that? And truly, what's the cause, and then can we fix it without doing surgery? And there are some really, really good treatment methods out there that we can utilize.
Once a person has irritation, can it does it stay forever? Like, is this area gonna hurt forever like this now, or is it just something happened in the last 24 hours?
Well, typically, and here, this is a great example of other things we talked about too. This didn't just happen for you.
Right. I just noticed it today.
You just noticed it. However, I mean, this thing has been building for a long time.
Okay.
And so, prevention is really the key. So, I asked you, do you use your hands and wrists repetitively? And sure, you do a lot of keyboarding throughout the day, some computer work and whatnot. And so, we'll see that in a lot of folks. If your workstation isn't set up ergonomically correct, so your wrists are in poor position, it's going to put more pressure on there and develop this. Okay. So the first thing is okay, let's remove what caused that. Let's fix that part of it. And now we got to give that thing some time to heal. And your body heals on its own. If you cut yourself, your body has an innate ability to heal on its own. And so your body, your carpal tunnel syndrome can heal on its own.
Oh, it can.
And it can, but you have to remove the irritation from there.
You can't be doing the same stuff all the time.
Exactly. So we need to remove that. We need to maybe brace you. There's some active forms of treatment as well as some in-office treatments that we'll do. We'll show patients different stretches
Well, that's my next question. Is there like the stretches or things that a person?
There's some different stretches, some simple things to do, throughout your day at work. In the office, actually, we have a really cool new piece of equipment at our office that's been shown to be very effective in helping to treat the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. Have you heard of cold laser before, or low-level laser therapy?
No.
Okay, what that is, we all have heard of laser.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, laser is a wavelength of light.
Like LASIK surgery, we've heard of that.
No, like laser.
Laser surgery.
Yeah, like a laser.
Wow,
like
no.
Yeah. So, but this is not surgery. This is low level lasers, cold laser basically is what we call it. And what cold laser is, it's a wavelength of light that we emit into the tissues in and around the carpal tunnel. And what that does, it really it activates the cells in our body to produce basically more what we call ATP, which helps our body heal. And so it speeds up the ability of your body to heal. And it's a relatively new form of treatment where we apply it to a certain area, and we really try to just promote the body's own healing ability.
And what other forms of treatment could I look for?
Well, again, we want to do a complete exam on a patient, find out exactly, if there is irritation that's causing tingling in the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's coming from your neck, because that's where the nerves originate. So from a chiropractic standpoint, we do a good, thorough job of looking and see if there's any nerve irritation in the neck. We check out where that nerve travels through the shoulder region. Maybe there's some trigger points or muscle adhesions in the shoulder region that's irritating the nerve, so we'll also take a look at that. Take a look at the elbow. Is there trigger points there or muscles that are spasmed up? And if there is, we'll work on those areas and try to remove that irritation instead of just focusing on where the area of symptoms are.
Well, see, for me, because when I woke up in the last couple hours, 2 days, I really haven't done anything other than what I normally do. And so then this hurt this morning.
Yeah.
And then you come in talking about carpal tunnel. Then I ask you, that's the same thing for anyone else, right? So in your wrist region,
yeah.
If you have
tingling, numbness in your hands,
mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you have true carpal tunnel syndrome. You have the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome, but you might have irritation somewhere else that's causing that. There's another, a medical test where basically you put electrodes on the body, and it actually it's a nerve conduction study, and so they see truly where that nerve is irritated.
Oh, wow.
That's a little bit more high-tech test. There's some simple tests that we can do to kind of, before we go down that route. But again, the key of the whole thing is if you have tingling or numbness, you're waking up with tingling or numbness in the fingers, you do repetitive work, that type of thing, there is treatment out there for it, but you should act on it. Get it checked out. It's not a normal thing to have tingling and numbness in your fingers. It just isn't. And so it's something that's very treatable. And like anything, the longer you let it wait, the harder it is to treat. So if you lose function of your, for you example, if you lose function of your hand, or lose all that muscle tone, and your nerve gets real irritated, you have less of a chance for that recovering, or the recovery is going to take longer.
Wow. So there is huge advantages of just getting it checked out right away.
Get it checked out, see what it is, and then we can act on it really quickly.
Well, guess where I'm going?
We'll sign you up.
That wraps up our first segment here this afternoon. We will be back with more Sport and Spinal Weekly on Midday Live, 92.1 The River.
Sport and Spinal Weekly continues. Get more online at chiropracticsport&spinalrehab.com.
Preventing work injuries in the workplace is especially important in this economy when employers need to reduce costs related to work injuries. Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab in Bemidji offers complimentary back safety talks to local businesses with options of complete training and certification, which could potentially reduce workers' compensation claims and insurance costs for employers. If you or your workplace is interested in back safety, please call Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab in Bemidji to schedule your back safety talk today.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, insurance specialist at Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. Call me to find out how your insurance benefits can help pay for your care. You can contact me for all of your insurance and financial questions.
Your recovery from injury is so important to you and your family. If you or someone you love is in need of physical or occupational therapy, request Choice Therapy of Bemidji. You do have the right to choose where you receive therapy services. Choice Therapy will work closely with your physician, giving every patient the highest quality care possible. Choice Therapy also offers free 15-minute injury consultations to see if therapy will help you return to top form. Your life, your health, your choice. Choice Therapy of Bemidji.
Have you had the misfortune of experiencing an injury recently? Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab of Bemidji is equipped with a comprehensive treatment and rehab program for auto, work, and sports-related injuries.
Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab also offers a complete wellness program for all your health needs. They're committed to helping you achieve and maintain your good health. Call Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab at 444-2117 and visit them online at www.sportandspinalrehab.com. That website again is www.sportandspinalrehab.com.
Sport and Spinal Rehab treats the whole family in a comfortable, friendly atmosphere. Sport and Spinal accepts most insurance, so give us a call. Again, that's 444-2117. Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. Renew your whole body, your whole family, your whole life.
River City's weather.
Hi, I'm Erica at Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab. I assist the doctors with patient care, exams, therapy, and x-rays. Call us to find out how we can help get you out of pain today.
All right, in the studio with me, Tim Hodap, Bemidji State University Gillette Recreation Fitness Center. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good. And so you are over there. Of course, we had Paul on before, talking about the programs over there. A lot of things people don't realize how much you guys offer at the fitness center. Today, we're going to talk about
Kettlebell and personal training.
kettlebells. Now, I know the kettlebells have been around for a long time, right? They have.
Yes, sir.
But it seems like it's made this new trend. It's a new way to work out, right? Everybody's buzzing on it.
Yep. It's kind of turned into its own revolution in a way. Kettlebell actually started in about 1700s.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Back over in Russia, it started as what was called grivik or grivery.
Okay.
Is what the Russians called it. Essentially, it was a kettlebell looks like a cannonball with a handle. So the old Russian strongmen started using them and realized the potential and started actually turning into a sport. So now, ever since then, the Russian military actually started using them. The Spetsnaz, which is the Russian Special Forces, really picked up into them, and that's how they ended up coming to America. A Spetsnaz instructor named Pavel, he actually brought it to America when he immigrated in the early 80s, and he didn't really kick it off until the early 90s, mid-90s, and it's kind of built in popularity since then.
Well, I know that it's... You don't have to be in special forces. I mean, this would be a great exercise for all of us because it works on your core, right?
Absolutely. That's why they find so much merit in what they were doing with it. It's essentially using dynamic motion, using everything in your body to move the weight around. So rather than conventional strength training where you are isolating groups of muscles and using them separately, like a bench press isolates your triceps, your shoulders, and your chest, it turns everything into a full body workout. So even if you're doing squats, you're holding generally the kettlebell in front of you. So you're engaging all of your upper body, your core, and your legs throughout everything.
Oh, I get it now.
Yep.
It only took like 7 explanations to me and me actually doing one kind of introduction program to understand it, because when you say kettlebells, you're like, what?
Exactly. I mean, what is that? So.
But now it makes sense to me because like I remember when I first did like one of the first couple exercises, touch your toes, and then there was like a stick or something for my balance, and then to squat.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is easy. And then they were like, okay, here, use this kettlebell now. I was like, oh, that's not so easy. But it sure seems like it should be easy, and I could see how by utilizing in that situation, it certainly will.
Yep, it's something completely different. They actually teach you to They teach you to actually recruit more muscles in your body. So when you're even doing squats, you learn how to pull yourself down instead of just letting gravity drop yourself down and fighting that. So you're actually going to use your muscle groups to pull yourself down so you can explode back up. And that's a lot of stuff that takes a little bit of training to do. As well as swings, it's a very explosive full body motion. It also teaches you to use all your muscle groups to stabilize the weight. So as like in a Turkish get-up where you're holding the weight overhead, you're actually starting on the ground, you work your way all the way up, keeping the kettlebell raised completely up towards the ceiling. And it teaches you how to load your muscle groups and keep stability through the whole thing.
Now, this could be just me, because I was sweating and I was just bending over. But I know everybody's different, but does that work out